Hello, my name is Tony Bishop, and I'm here to help you prepare for your interview. To tell you a little bit about myself, I have been in the recruiting business now for 22 years. Connexus Search Group has about 20 recruiters that cover the United States. We place a wide range of positions from sales reps to pathologists and everything in between. We place about 150 people each year, and as a result of that, we have worked with a lot of hiring managers, and we know what a successful interview is, and we know how to help you get through the interview process. This video today is going to be focused on getting you ready for the first interview. So it's not a whole lot of details about the interview itself, but it's just preparing you for the first stage. So once you get the word that you are going to get an interview, then it's time to start right away. Don't delay, because a lot of people, they do, and then they're not prepared for the interview. And we hear a lot of times that candidates that don't do well really were not prepared well. So we're going to guide you through the process. We'll cover a couple phases here. One, doing the research and getting ready, and the other part is going to be a little bit about the interview. So we have a separate interview that goes into detail about the actual interview. So the first thing you want to do is research the company and its products. You want to thoroughly review the company's website and any recent news. Go on their website, look at the news, see what is going on with the company. One, you want to know this before you decide if you want to join this company or not. And then the other part is, when you're interviewing somebody from this company, if you don't know much about the company, then they won't take you serious as a candidate. So you want to understand their products, their services, their market position. You want to research their company culture and values just to see if it aligns with yours. And you can get a lot of that information off the company's website. You can also use LinkedIn, and you can look at some of the leaders in the company, the CEO. You can see if they have certain causes that they donate money to. Just dig into the information and get a feel for the culture of the company. That is really key. And so it couldn't take you probably 30 minutes to do this, but it's something sometimes candidates do not do in advance. And then when they get on the call with the hiring manager and they ask about, what do you know about my company? And they say, not much. That usually will get you eliminated. The other thing you want to do is you want to research the hiring manager. You want to know exactly who this person is. You'll know obviously who it is because you've been set up and you know exactly who you're talking to. But use LinkedIn and other resources to learn about the hiring manager's background. If you know somebody who works for the company, you can ask them about this particular hiring manager. Obviously, you're looking for common ground or mutual connections to build rapport when you're looking at their LinkedIn. If they're a coach, or if they have maybe an Army veteran, military veteran, whatever, you want to look and see if there's any common connection. And you want to kind of look at their journey, see where they started. Maybe they started in B2B sales and moved into medical sales. Anything that can build a common bond, or at least just helps you understand who they are as a person. All right, so here's another thing you definitely want to do is you want to start preparing a list of thoughtful questions about the company's products, services, and strategy. And there again, this is something that is critical. I have seen this happen where a candidate actually goes through the interview, and maybe they've interviewed somebody else with this company, and the interviewer says, well, do you have any questions for me? And they say no, maybe because somebody's already answered their questions. That will get you eliminated. So you have to ask questions. When somebody says, do you have any questions about the company? You need to say yes, and you need to have a list of very good questions. And we can give you some suggestions on questions to ask, but it's about their products, their goals, how much money they spend in R&D every year, their customers that they have, the most prestigious customers, anything that indicates that you have researched the company and you're very interested in working for them. Now, the other thing is you want to create a brag book or document your achievements on your resume and actually go through those and understand those. A lot of people minimize this part and they think they're going to wing it, you should definitely have a copy of your resume in front of you, and you should have an updated resume also. Make sure your resume is updated. But a lot of times, especially for sales reps and for anybody, they're going to want to know your achievements, and you need to reflect and kind of go back through your career and think about some of your most significant accomplishments. Think about the things that you're most proud of, and then quantitate that information so you can convey it in a very succinct manner and very powerful manner. So for an example, you may say that you won a large hospital integrated delivery network and they had never bought from your company before. You were the first person to break in that account, and it represented $2 million a year in revenue that your company never had, and it was a 5-year contract, so it was a $10 million deal. But you have to think this stuff through. Do not go to the interview and just wing it. You need to kind of prep and think, because these are the things that they're going to ask you about. There again, make sure you have your resume. Always have your resume in front of you, print it out in hand, because some people who do interviews, they're very methodical, and they'll start you back from your education, and they'll walk you through every job, and they'll be asking you questions, and if you're not following along with them, then they think you're lost and it doesn't go well. So make sure you have your resume in front of you. There again, effective question preparation. We talked a little bit about this, but prepare questions about the company's growth, products, market challenges. Ask about the team dynamics of the company and the expectations for this role. So you definitely want to have your questions well thought out. There again, this is where a lot of people drop the ball a little bit. As far as the logistics, plan for in-person, plan your route, allow extra time to get there. So nowadays there's not as much in-person, so this is not as big a thing, but there are still some companies who like to meet with candidates in person. Just make sure you plan well ahead so you don't run into traffic problems. Zoom, I've seen this happen time again, and it's happened to me even when I think I'm prepared. Starting to log in 5 minutes early, and then all of a sudden my connection doesn't work, and I'm missing or late for a client meeting. Doesn't look good. I would say 10 minutes just in case something happens and doesn't work out. Have the cell number of the person you're going to be talking to, just in case you can't get logged in. You can call them, or have your recruiter there to help you. And obviously you need to confirm who you'll be meeting with on the call. Look at the scheduling assistant, know who all is going to be in that meeting, so you can talk to each one of them about their you just want to be knowledgeable about who you're going to be interviewing with. Okay, so a little bit about the interview. We won't go into tons of detail here. Mainly this video is really about just trying to get you prepared and have you do the work before the actual interview. And this is best to start even a week before the interview started. Now, obviously, once you do have an interview, strong first impression, obviously you want to greet each interviewer warmly, whether in person or virtually. You definitely want to make sure that in this process that you understand something about them, so you have some kind of common bond with them, that you can bring up something in their LinkedIn profile. Hey, I noticed that you were a basketball coach, or coach your son or your daughter in a sport. Bring that up. Obviously, maintain good eye contact and engage actively with each person. Look directly at the camera. Make sure your camera is situated so that you have eye contact. And then here's the big thing that we've been talking about, mainly preparing your presentation materials. So just make sure you have everything we talked about. So you have a copy of your resume, you have your list of questions that you prepared when they say, hey, what questions do you have of me? Have all that stuff in front of you. Sometimes you might want to have a business plan. Some people ask for a business plan on the first interview, or if this is the second interview, you definitely want to have your business plan taken care of before the meeting. And obviously, if you're working with a recruiter, they can help you with a 30, 60, 90-day business plan. And then last minute prep tips. Obviously you want to practice, you want to review the information. Just don't wing it. Make sure you've done your homework. Review your resume, make sure that it's updated and has good information on it. And then for Zoom, make sure you have a cell number in case the Zoom meeting does not go through and there's an issue on either person's side. Okay, so you're ready to ace the interview now. Just remember, preparation is the key. That's where we see most people fall down. We hear a lot of hiring managers say, hey, I feel like they really were not prepared and didn't research our company. And so obviously by doing this, you can determine if you really are interested in the company also. And so you want to do it for yourself and for the person you're talking to. And then obviously you want to follow up, and we have another video after this one that goes through the entire sequence of the whole interview, and we talk more about a follow-up email or follow-up phone call, whatever it may be. So if you need more help, there's, like I said, there'll be another video after this one that will actually go through very detail in the whole process of the interview, and we'll definitely put that as a link in this in the notes for this video as well. And if you need help, just obviously reach out to us. We can certainly help you with any personalized help you may need. And then one last thing I want to go over is just, since now everything has really gone to video, just make sure that you have a professional background and good lighting. Make sure your camera and your microphone are working well. Dress professionally, just like you would for an in-person interview. I had a meeting the other day with a CFO of a large corporation, and we both had jackets on. So it was sort of like we were meeting in person. So we had, not just golf shirts, we had jackets on. And then minimize the distractions. I know everybody has pets. I have pets as well, but you definitely don't want the dog barking. I mean, maybe the hiring manager has a dog and they're barking, then it's okay, but you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. You just never know, how that will go over. On our company conference calls, sometimes we have our pets and we show our pets off to one another. So it just depends on the environment, but most of the time on these interviews, it's best not to have the dog barking. And but if it happens, it's no big deal, but just try to avoid that stuff. So anyway, hey, we're glad to help out. If you need any additional information, let us know, and good luck with your interview.